Hi, welcome to Fusion Beads. I'm excited to show you how to make our cute snowflake earring and bracelet set. The earrings in this set feature 4mm crystal bicone beads in crystal Moonlight, light sapphire, and sapphire. I have a 23mm pewter snowflake charm by TierraCast, French hoop ear wires, 4mm jump rings, and 21 gauge 2-inch head pins. For my bracelet, it features all the same product as the earrings, minus the ear wire, for a cute little accent charm. It also features 6mm sapphire Swarovski Crystal Bicone beads, a 16mm pewter toggle clasp, crimp beads and crimp covers, and the fine soft flex beading wire. For my tools today, I'm using crimping pliers, the Lindstrom ergonomic long chain nose pliers, Tronics ergonomic flesh cutters, and I have a tape measure. You can find links to all these beads and supplies in the description below. So let's get started. Okay, to begin for our earring, I'm going to go ahead and make my little bicone charms. So I'm going to grab a head pin, slide on a 4mm bead, then I'm just going to use my thumb and going right above the bead, I'm just going to go ahead and bend the head pin back to make a 90-degree bend, as close to the bead as possible, so I just have a nice little loop there. So I'm going to take my cutters, I'm going to cut off the majority of just leaving a little bit there to make a little loop with. Set that aside. Take your round nose pliers and grab at the tip of the wire. And I always like to run my finger across there just to make sure my wire's not sticking out, so I really am at the edge of the wire. And then I'm going to go ahead and gently roll it back towards me, open my pliers, and continue to roll until I have a nice little loop there. So I've got that one done, and I already made my other two guys here in the Sapphire and the Crystal Moonlight, so those are all ready to go. And they're a little open here, so I'm just going to go ahead and open them a little bit more and add it to my jump ring here. If you had them all nicely closed tight, you could just open your jump ring and then add them all. But seeing as how I had to adjust mine a little bit anyways, it's easy to add them to the jump ring. Get a hold of my jump ring. And it really doesn't matter what order you add them in, however you want them. If you want it to be the white, light blue, and dark blue, or it could be the dark blue, white, and then the light blue, however you like it. And you can have them both be the same, or you can have them be different. Just make sure when you're putting them on there that they actually go onto the jump ring and not through the loop of one of the other head pins. There. So now I've got my little charm there, and so then I'm going to set that guy down. Then I'm going to take my ear wire, and I'm going to go ahead and, just like I opened the jump ring there, just move it to the side to open it. Then I'm going to take my little bicone charms and slide that on there. Then I'm going to take my snowflake charm and add that to my ear wire. And then in the same fashion, I'm just going to go ahead and close my ear wire. And boom, you have these cute little snowflake earring charms. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set up for the bracelet, and then we'll make that, and we'll be right back. Okay, to make my bracelet, I went ahead and I already cut 10 inches of the soft flex beading wire, because I'm going to make about an 8-inch bracelet once the toggle is added. So the 10 inches gives me a little bit of length there to work with my crimp beads. So to begin, I'm going to grab my soft flex. I'm going to pick up one crimp bead, and I'm going to start with the toggle bar of my clasp. I'm going to go through the loop of the clasp, bring the beading wire back down and through the crimp bead, and slide that up there. And I always like to leave a little bit of room so that my toggle can move, so there's a little bit of loop. I don't want it to be too tight. So using my crimping pliers, I'm going to use the first knot, or the back notch first, and I'm going to crimp it once, and then I'm going to turn it and go to the front notch and then crimp it a couple more times to make the cylinder shape. So again, using the back notch of my pliers, I'm going to go ahead and do my one crimp, and then I'm going to take it out and going to the front notch and turning it, I'm going to crimp it one more time. Then I always do mine like a third time just to make a nice cylinder shape. And I also just give it a little tug just to make sure it's nice and secure. So it looks like it's good. So then I'm going to take my cutters and I'm going to just cut off my little tail of wire here as close to the crimp bead as possible. All right, and then I'm going to just start stringing my pattern. So my pattern is going to be starting with the light Sapphire 4mm Bicone bead. I'm going to use a little spacer bead. Then I'm going to use a 4mm Crystal Moonlight bead, another spacer, and then I'm going to do a 6mm. And then the same fashion, I just keep repeating this pattern all the way through until I have approximately about 7.5 inches, because then the toggle will add about a 1/2 inch. Grab my light sapphire, spacer bead, and the moonlight, another spacer, and then add my 6mm bicone. So as you can see, I just continue this pattern all the way through for my bracelet. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, I went ahead and I completed the stringing of my bracelet, and when I measured it out, it actually was like about 7 inches right now without adding my toggle bar. So I guess my toggle bar is going to add about another inch there. So to finish my bracelet in the same fashion as how I attached my toggle bar, I'm going to attach the ring part of the clasp. I'm going to pick up a crimp bead. Then I'm going to go through the loop on the toggle, and then I'm going to go back through the crimp bead, and I'm going to pull it down so it's fairly snug but not too snug, because you want your bracelet to be able to move and kind of flex, your beads be able to move around there a little bit. So you might just have to adjust that a little bit here before I go ahead and crimp it. So there, I feel like I got enough room in there. So then the same fashion, again, starting with the back notch first and then going to the front notch, I'm going to crimp one time on the back notch. I'm going to go ahead and turn my pliers, and then using the front notch, I'm going to crimp one more time, and then I always do mine a third time. There, and then I always give it a little tug, make sure it's secure. It is. So I'm going to take my wire cutters, and I'm going to go ahead and cut my tail as close to the crimp bead as possible. So I've got crimp beads on there, excuse me. So I want to go ahead and add my crimp covers. So to do that, use your front notch there. And so I always just put my crimp cover in there gently, and then just slide it over your crimp bead, and then just gently close it. Try not to smash it, because you want it to be a nice little ball shape there. And then it just looks like a little 3mm bead there. And then on the same fashion, I'm going to do it on the other side. And sometimes you don't get it closed on that first try there. So you just like adjust it a little bit, and then you just give it one more little gentle squeeze there, and it goes ahead and closes it. So now I'm ready to go ahead and add my charm. And as you can see on my original bracelet here that I made, I went ahead and I added my charm to the ring part of the clasp instead of the toggle bar. And the reason you want to do that is because your toggle bar has to go through your ring, and if it has a big charm on there, it can be hard to close your bracelet. So if you do add charms or any kind of dangles, it's always best to put it on the ring side of your clasp. So in the same fashion as I made the earring, exactly the same here, I've already got my little charm and my little bicone charms on there. So I'm just going to go ahead and open the jump ring that's attaching all those guys together. And then I'm going to add that to the loop of my toggle ring. Just slide that on there. Oops, doesn't look like I opened my jump ring quite wide enough there. So slide on the loop. And then gently close my jump ring. There. And now you have the bracelet completed for your little matching set. You can find the products and tools for this inspiration design at fusionbeads.com.